Is it CC style? Here. So put that mic on.
It was good. It was definitely not Bollywood. Good.
Not Bollywood. Yeah. It's still good.
Yeah. I mean, a stand-in.
Definitely a good stand-in. We try all the places around here, and
we'll find our new spot. Or we'll have to make Cece make the cross-country journey to come see us.
It's very true.
We'll have to make it worth his while. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Drinking a really nice bottle of wine tonight.
Really nice wine, yep.
It's a Coppola, I don't know what the special... Claret?
Yeah.
It actually had like a golden netting around it.
Wow, nice.
It was in the fancy pants department.
Wow, you want fancy pants.
Yeah, but I have to say it's really, really nice. How have you been?
I'm good. How have you been?
Good. Just unpacking and trying to clean up and organize and structure this whole new Good Dog facility. Of course, with anything new, we've got all sorts of stuff going on. Like we've got a few gates here. Gates have gone down. We've had some custom work done on the plumbing.
Shelby ran over a sprinkler and a sprinkler pipe, basically.
Two pipes.
Two pipes. And she's the best, but yeah.
She's the best in a lot of capacities, but the backing up might be problematic. We've got a very narrow driveway and it goes a long way, so you have to really want it to get down it. Yep. So I think that was the first night here. We had no water.
Day here, yep.
We had to shut the water down, no showers, no toilets, and I think a lot of guilt.
Yes.
I think Shelby was struggling with a lot of guilt, but innocent situation could have happened to anybody.
Oh yeah.
So we're just moving in. You guys have seen some clips. We got tons of space. It's fabulous. It's going to be so good when it's all done. We've got now 3 different training locations and like dog spots. Dog, not locations, but like dog areas.
Dog yards.
Dog yards, dog areas. We just had Indian food and you guys know how it gets. So I always get yelled at, like, gross, stop burping while you're doing anything. I'm not burping, I'm just digesting. But, so we've got 3 dog areas, which are pretty awesome. So we can have dogs potting, we can have dogs training, we can have in the living room, we can have outside, we can have CJ and Hercules trucking up and down the driveway. Yep. Pretty damn cool, if I do say so myself. And with all that said, I'm going to chat about a few of our goings on currently, if you don't mind.
Hit it.
Okay. Moving into the Chatsworth spot. We just talked about that.
Yes.
So I guess we're done with that part. So we'll move on to the second part. So we got the NOLA workshop and we've got NOLA training coming up, right? So me and this lovely lady are doing a NOLA e-collar workshop. Only one of its kind so far. We're hoping to do a California one at some time. No guarantees when that will happen, but we'll sure try. I know a lot of you folks really want it.
Yep.
Laura Morgan, are we getting close to booking out with that?
I think we've got 1 or 2 working spots left and 1 audit spot left. Something like that.
It's getting down,
close,
down to the wire.
Getting close, yeah.
You guys, you want to come see us and hang and beignets and like maybe a little carriage ride if you're lucky? Better get on it.
Yep.
And of course, some fabulous dog training too. And then, like we just said, typically I write notes about things that I want, like a couple of cool concepts, and we end up talking about them before I ever get to them, and then it's like redundant, right?
You don't have to go through the list, but you're already going through it.
I know, but I'm just saying it's kind of a funny thing. As I'm going down my list, I'm like, moving into the chat. Wait, that. Okay. Another workshop. Okay, that's cool. New Indian food. So we just dove in. Just a real quick review on what was it called? Mamas.
I don't know.
Mothers.
I don't know. You might not want to say the name if you're not as crazy about it.
Well, it was good.
Oh, okay.
It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. I'm not going to trash mothers.
No.
Get me on that Yelp review. I'm ready. A little different than our Bollywood, our beloved Bollywood, and of course no CC. So
Yes.
we'll see what we do with that in the
Yeah.
future. Anyways, guys, we're running really late. We've got a shadow student here named Ashley, and Ashley is awesome. We thought Ashley might be a lovely lady. Ashley turns out to be
A giant man.
a giant man, canine officer, sheriff.
Awesome, dude.
I was like, "Hi, Ashley. You are very different than what I thought you were going to be." And he's a very sweet guy, very knowledgeable guy, and so we've been doing a lot of.
We've been geeking out with all the dog training, dog like tactical gear. I already bought a collar off of him. Like he's just super. I'm super into this sport and like dog.
You could call it super into it, or you could just call it nerdy.
I would say I'm super into it because I don't do that much of it. I'm not that like cool about it. I just have some fun with it, and he's so knowledgeable.
Yeah,
and
he's got
just,
a
like,
ton of information.
Yeah.
But what he's looking to do, which is really kind of cool, guys, he's here, he wants to work in the pet world as well, pet dog world, but he's also trying to incorporate some of the state of mind work that we do to get dogs into a clearer, more highly functioning state without removing their drive. And so he's down here kind of experimenting with some of the approaches that we use, like I said, both for pet dog work and rehab work, which he's going to heavily get into, but also seeing what he can make happen as far as like he works with a lot of high drive sport dogs and protection dogs and things like that, and seeing like how much can we demand of them to give us more. Well, get out of here, stop being a little scavenger. Respectful, polite, courteous behavior while still maintaining drive and still maintaining a high work ethic. So it's been a cool kind of worlds colliding.
Yeah.
And we've been sharing a lot of cool information back and forth. So it's been fun. He's a really great guy, and we're really happy to have him here.
Yeah, he's great.
So, and with that said, I think it's time to
Jump in.
to the show.
Yes.
Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and this to my left, once again, shaking things up with brand new nail color because you knew it was coming. I want to hang on a second. I want to say I'm going to name. I think it's going to become part of our new thing. I'm going to start naming your nails. I'm going to say that's a. What am I going to say? That's a. I almost had it. It's like a frosted iceberg.
See, that's so interesting. When I went in there, I was like, I want an ice color.
Did you say ice?
In my head, I said I want like a frosty ice, like.
Are you serious?
Nope, not. I mean, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And this is actually called. They always have cool names for them. It's called On Cloud 9. So it's like cloudy color, which I think is cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
But there's a frosty quality
Yeah,
to it.
there's definitely an ice look to it. So yeah.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about my predilection for female shoes and design
really good
and
taste.
interior design
Yeah,
and things
really
like
good.
that. So I appreciate that very much. Anyways, to my left, the lovely Laura Morgan and her cool frosty nails. And this would be Q&A episode. What do I get? I get 80.
80.
Can you guys believe it? Freaking 80.
80
shows.
episodes. I mean, comment below or on Facebook or on the YouTube comments if you've been watching since
If you've
episode
seen the
1.
whole shebang.
Yeah, we would love to know.
When we're like on an airplane,
Yep.
you know, in Jackson Square, there's been some ghetto.
Yes.
In Jeff's RV in Texas,
Oh, yeah.
there's been some ghetto,
Serious
ghetto
ghetto.
versions of it. But I remember me and you talking not too long ago about the, you know, like that it was an idea that we kind of put forward.
yeah.
I was writing
You were writing to
everybody.
everyone,
I
yeah.
was, and it was making my life a horrible place
I was
because.
like, why don't we just? And we were like, I was thinking the same.
Yeah,
thing.
I was writing back to everybody, but I would have like 25 questions and it would take me days and days. And then we thought, wow, why don't we do this? And I think what we were talking about the other day was that we never dreamed it would be something that would still be going.
No.
We thought it'd be something we'd jump in, do a couple episodes, have some fun with it. And here it's turned into this really cool thing. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but like last last Q&A post, there were all these messages about people talking about about it being the best part of their week,
Aww.
about something they really look forward to, and that's pretty damn special.
Yeah.
So
I think what's cool for me is that, you know, we do this thing like we're like, oh my gosh, our audience. But like the reality is maybe an average of 500 people watch a week, which is a lot. I'm not disparaging
moving
that
towards
number.
600 actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, like, it's not like we've got this like.
We're not going to fill the forum with that.
Exactly. I mean, the way we see it, we're like, oh my gosh, Q&A is going off. But I love that about, you know, I love that about Sean, and I love that about what we've tried to build together, and a lot of the people that we know that are doing similar things with social media. It's just like, who cares about, it's about the one person that it's mattering to.
Yeah.
And as long as it's great for us, and we feel like we're able to give stuff that we actually have knowledge on, and we can actually help people, and if it was one person tuning in every week,
that's the whole thing.
It's worth it. and you guys, if there's anyone out there that's doing anything that they feel like, well, you know, what if no one reads it, or what if no one buys it, or it's like, who cares? What if someone does? And if it makes you happy, why not? You know?
Yeah.
So I love that 80 episodes. Like, we could have episode, 20 been like, man, we're only getting 200.
We're hanging her up.
Yeah. Or like 1 year in, we're like, all right, this like still hasn't caught on, but man, we're just having fun with it. So we just keep going.
We're having fun, but to be honest, when I went through the numbers this last week, I was surprised to see that they've, in the last month, because there was a while when we were traveling a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. We're traveling a lot, things change, shift a little bit, but we've been really consistent for a while,
Yeah.
and the numbers are really starting to move up,
Yeah.
and I won't lie, it's cool to see the numbers move.
Yeah.
It's cool to see like more people checking in, enjoying it, and our whole goal is to spread this message and get more of you guys to be empowered with tools, state of mind, training concepts, to be able to train your own dogs, work with rescues, shelter, foster, whatever it is, and be able to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
So there is a mission here, there is a method to our madness, and we're awfully pleased to have you along for the ride with us.
Cool.
And with that said, let's jump into the first question.
Episode. No.
I don't know why I'm singing the Tom Sawyer theme song, but
Okay. It sounds kind of like X-Files or something you just said.
I sang it the other day in a video. I was talking, and I was doing like an iPhone video, and I was like, do 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 do. I was like, oh man, you just nerded yourself out so much. Anybody that's old enough just went like, oh, that's the middle part of Tom Sawyer from Rush. I was like, oh, crushed.
From Rush?
All my credibility,
Well,
out the window.
If they know it, probably your credibility went up.
But well, they might have like known it and then distanced themselves from it considerably.
Okay.
They're not probably referencing it, on a video.
Question number 1 comes from Miss Carmen Jimenez.
Yes.
Carmen says, hi.
Ex-client of ours.
Yes, awesome client.
Yeah.
Cutest little pittie. Hi there, Sean and Laura. First and foremost, congratulations on the new place. It looks fabulous and lots of room for the scoundrels to run.
Yes.
Lola and I are doing great. She's come a long way. We've ventured into Nordstrom's and Bloomingdale's, and she got on the escalator with no hesitation. We came upon a little problem a few days ago walking in the park. We came across about 7 dogs who are in training for service dogs with their handlers, and they were being trained clicker method with treats. As we were walking by, I noticed Lola was getting very nervous and realized it was the clicker, and I put her in the down command hoping she would relax, but it got worse. Then she was trembling, and I moved her forward, and we went off to another side until she'd calmed down. I brought her around not too close to the trainers, but she could still hear the clicker and see that it was okay. I had her walk around, sit and lie down. She seemed to do better, but now I go to the park at night to walk her, and she's very anxious. Anxiety sets in. I can see her constantly looking around, like she wants to turn back. She's never done that before. She doesn't react to thunder or fireworks, so, what can I do to reassure her? Thanks for all that you do. Wow.
That's such a fascinating question because the concept, the concept about clicker training is that it's always like the easiest, softest, mildest.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, like my dog Oakley, I started doing clicker training when I very first started out with dog training with Junior and Oakley. I had a book called The Power of Pure Positive, or the Pure, Pam Miller, and I highly disagree with what she shares now, but back in the day it was my first book that I kind of jumped into. And so we talked about loading the clicker and all that stuff. And the problem was Oakley would pee his pants every time I brought the clicker out.
Wow.
So then they give you some hacks, right? And they like tape up the clicker so you can dull the sound. He didn't care. He was terrified of it.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't use the clicker. I mean, like, I could put it behind my back. I could tape it up. It didn't matter. The clicker was way too much for him, and who knows why? Just the sound was too intense. So for I think a fair amount of dogs, they're nervous about the clicker sound. They don't know what to make of it. It's foreign. It sounds weird. For a lot of dogs, they don't care, and it works really well for training certain behaviors. And there's a lot of positive stuff you can do with it. But as far as it's Luna, right? I think it's Luna.
Yeah.
It's either Luna or Lola.
It's Lola.
Lola. Yeah. I was super close. So close. So Carmen, with Lola, first things first. Sorry she got nervous about the clickers, but there's not much you can do about it. You stumbled upon a situation. She heard a bunch of sounds, didn't know what to make of it, got freaked out, got worried. Right? Like, it just is what it is. What I would do is make sure, for one, you don't soothe her or talk soft or pet or nurture her. So if you guys are walking by the park and you see her worried or concerned, just say like, heel and let's walk, or put her in a downstay and then heel, let's walk, downstay. Give her information, give her a lot of, moth attack. Give her a lot of information.
Yeah.
Is this going to be bad? Do we need to like special effects to get that thing out of here? Maybe we could have the moth drag around a little thing that says like Q&A 80 or something like that.
Sounds exactly like what I'm capable of.
We'll have to send that out to the post shop. Anyways, so the deal is you can't really make her feel better. All you can do is expose her to the situation more and more. So if Lola was my dog, I would just go out and go, okay, so there's a clicker class over there. I'd go sit like under a tree. I'd put her in a downstay and I would just hang there for a couple hours if you've got the time. And I know that sounds super time intensive, but the whole thing is like, what I want her to feel is that there's no big deal there. The clicker doesn't mean anything. But if she's hope that's not a werewolf. If we're in a new environment, anything's possible. Is that I don't want her worried about the werewolf. I don't want her worried about the clicker. I don't want her to be soothed. I don't want her to be nurtured. I don't want her to be reinforced. I want you to be neutral and act like nothing is going on, and just stay the course. And I guarantee you, over time, if you just expose her, she'll eventually not care about it anymore. It's a novel thing, right? So she's been exposed. Holy crap, what is that? That's really worrisome. And then you see your dog is doing great. You get worried, and now the two of you are getting concerned together. So I would approach it fresh. I'd approach it in a really positive way. Oh, look, clicker training. What a bunch of, whatever it is. Like, oh, those people are doing some work. Great. Now you lay down and we're going to hang out here and I'm going to read my book or do whatever.
And even if you don't have a ton of time, just anytime you're going, even if you never see them again, you can keep going to that park and just treat it like it's no big deal and just go. And just,
great suggestion.
Just because you may never see them. You may not like need to desensitize her to a clicker, but just that clicker you can sub for anything that she might be nervous about, even if it's like any other sound or any sort of thing. So what you want to do is just be like, don't worry about that. It's just like anything for us, fears that we have, the more we're exposed to kind of an area and the more we see like everything's going to be okay, we're like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. So just bring her around the same place. Don't worry about it. Don't try to coax it, or like Sean said, you don't need to, be like, soothe it or anything like that.
Please don't do that.
Just work her right through.
You'll reinforce it with that.
Just like you said, the escalator thing at the shopping, I'm sure that was like something that she might have been worried about at first, but then you worked her through it and you kept going. So it's gonna show up. So yeah, just keep at it.
Yeah.
And don't worry about it.
It really doesn't matter what we are addressing. If we're addressing like shiny floors, if we're addressing I don't like a vacuum, if we're addressing cars or motorcycles, all we do is just put a dog into a command, so the command overrides whatever the dog wants to do to try and flee the pressure, and then just slowly acclimate the dog to the situation, and you'll find yourself in a good situation. I think you guys are going to be great. Just little patience, just continued exposure, and I think you'll be good.
Yep. Cool. Hey, 30 seconds to spare.
Look at that.
Thank you.
I want those minutes to roll over.
Not sprint. Okay, question number 2. This
Yes.
comes from Kasie Naklik.
Oh, Kasie Naklik, she's becoming a regular.
She is, and she actually sent us video with this, so I'm going to post up some of the video. So
she also
go ahead.
did a little trash talking too.
What?
Well, a little trash talking.
On us?
Well, maybe a little bit.
No.
Not in that post, but let me just tell you.
Okay.
There was something about papoostraining.com that she's going after, and I think it's, if you search on the excuse me.
I'm not going to do it right now, but yes.
No, but if you search on the comments for the actual show, she's justifying why that dog is under her jacket.
Oh, Kasie,
Right?
okay.
I think it was 9 weeks.
I think I have to say, Kasie. So, first of all, well, no, I'll read the question, then we'll show the video clip. But, Kasie, I think the latest video I saw of you and Trigger, did you see it?
No. Am I going to like this? Kasie Naklik.
This is an interesting thing. So, guys, what I'm about to say, we're totally hassling you, Kasie, because we love you and we're just being
She said
funny.
something about, I rarely let people sass me the way that you guys are.
I can see that in your video. You're like unsassable.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
Right? But sass we will.
But we love you, so it's fun. But I think Trigger was eating off of an ice cream cone.
Egads, are you serious?
Yes. So
Is it like a Frosty Paws or
no, it was like a real
a soft serve?
So, or maybe it was a Frosty. I don't know if it was dog friendly. But here's the deal, Kasie, and all of you. So
And all of you that are sharing ice cream cones.
The thing with, and we're just picking on you, but I think it actually brings up a good point, because I looked at it and I laughed, and I was like, man, you know, that's not putting the dog in the jacket. But what it is doing, which is a hard concept for us to talk to trainer owners about.
Yep, I'm with you.
You're hearing me? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
Always with you.
Is that it's not necessarily what you're sharing, because it could just be like, oh, I'm just giving him a treat. But that softness of like sharing something that like is yours, and like what's behind that, to like share something like a delicious treat with a dog that's maybe being kind of bratty, or maybe not like being the most like
best version of themselves.
Is not our best option, just because the softness that you're sharing with it comes from a place of like, I love you so much. So, and dogs can feel that, whether or not they act like it, like, oh, I'm just eating a treat, but they're still like, oh yeah, I'm getting an ice cream cone right now. It's like,
so your concern is that maybe the conversation, a little mixed message, Kasie's trying to get her dog into a good space, and maybe sharing some soft stuff that's unintentionally soft.
yeah, because it's just like, oh, it's just like a treat.
We're sharing a treat, but we're
like,
sharing an intimate treat, like ice cream
and
cone.
dogs are so much smarter than we give them credit for. They pick up on that stuff like, wait a second, we see it all the time. Owners that are like, I have structure and I have this and I have that, but he gets like, you know, the most fancy food ever, and like we cook him.
Or I carry him around on my shoulders like this, like a 6-year-old.
No, but like really like stuff that they'd just be like, oh, but I'm just taking care of his health. He gets like, you know, we're talking about dogs are like doing really bad things. You know, he gets like, you know, top of the line, like raw this and like these types of yogurts, and I cook him this, and I'm like, dogs can feel that stuff. I know so many people out there are going to say
because it's intent.
Yeah.
Where does the intent come from?
Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
So, you know, Kasie, you don't have something major going on with Trigger. I know that. So we can just use this as a point, but just thought I might bring it up. Anyway.
Good thing I like you guys so much. I don't normally tolerate people giving me so much sass. I kid. I love you guys. You're great to me. In my defense, the picture of him in my jacket was when he was 9 weeks old. It was raining, and I was waiting for AAA to finish pulling my car out of a snowbank for the second time that week. And it goes on and on.
Oh, that's okay.
So, but
Kasie,
I appreciate a little of your friskiness.
Yes, we love it.
Yeah.
She did say, just kidding, I love you guys. So.
Of course, yes. We've got a good balanced relationship.
Question number 2.
So did we answer Kasie's
No, we're answering her right now. We haven't read the question.
Oh. Well,
Hey,
look
Sean
at
and
that.
Laura, I loved your teasing so much last week. I came back for more. Sorry. I didn't tease.
Somehow I got confused on that
Take
whole
your
thing.
advice and started trigger on a prong collar, and it's going fairly well so far.
Yeah.
The reason I'm writing is because when working in heel in particular, he becomes very vocal wherever he receives even light pop corrections.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just being a brat and protesting since he'll go back to breaking position fairly quickly. I'm hoping to capture some video to send along to give you an idea of what I'm dealing with. Other than a good set of earplugs, how do I address this? Do I basically ignore it like I have been, or should I consider moving to the e-collar ahead of schedule to see if he tolerates that pressure any better? Thanks for everything you guys do. You've really made a huge difference in my life and my dog's lives. And I'm hoping to attend T3 one of these days so I can help change lives the way you do. Oh, that's so sweet, Kasie.
Yeah.
So real quick, guys, now watch this real quick video clip.
Hey, Sean and Laura, it's your old buddy, Kasie, neck leak. I'm going to get that legally changed. And I'm here with Noah and with Trigger, and we just got done shooting some video for you, hoping we can get some feedback from you on my little, what'd you call him, a wolf in a cute outfit, which he certainly is. Sorry the video is not the best quality. I did the best I could with my iPhone. I don't know how Sean walks and talks and trains and films at the same time. I don't know. It's a mystery. I have new respect for what you do. But whatever help you can give us would be great. Thanks, guys. Hey. Good. Very good. Come on, Noah. Let's go. Good. Very good. Come on, Noah. Come on. You're lagging. Come on. I know. You're old. It's okay. Right. I see. Good boy. Good job.
I see this is my question.
This is your question.
Okay, let me start that timer. So, Kasie,
My favorite part of the show.
what I saw in the video, I would say basically there's a couple things. So, I bet Trigger would vocalize with anything. Trigger's got that kind of like, he's that shepherdy type of guy who's just like
On edge and
yeah, but he's also just like shepherd puppies can be a lot of like noise and a lot of vocalization. So you're definitely going to get the vocalization, even if it's not like tough on him, even if it's not a ton of like significance, you're still getting vocalization. What I saw is that he's like you said, he's vocalizing, he's moving back into position, and then he's kind of moving up and not really, he's not like necessarily being he's not like shut down by the correction by any means or anything. So what I would say, there's a couple things. What I would say is catch him a little earlier when he's moving up. If you do see him before, I think the way I saw it was he got pretty far out of line before he got the corrections. So what I'd love is if he was like, just as he's starting to come up, give him that correction with the prong collar. I'd also like to see you just at the start walk them separately because your other girl or your other dog is sweet and totally like in line and all that stuff. But just maybe give Trigger some like his own time alone with mom, working on just a more focused thing, because right now you've got kind of like a little pack walk going with the two of them, so he's kind of like in, getting in the zone with the other. So you might want to just work with Trigger alone a little bit on that. I would say the vocalization's just kind of him, and I wouldn't worry about it if it's worrying you. And I would say as soon as you can, move to e-collar. And that, I would say, probably, he's 4 months now?
Right around it. Almost there. Yeah.
I would say, like, in a month, move to e-collar. Right now, just kind of work him more on that prong and work him alone. Catch him a little earlier. Don't worry about the vocalization. The more he's relaxed at home doing place command and a ton of that, the lower his state of mind is going to be and the less vocalization you're going to get because he's not going to be living up here.
Yeah.
I also just think the other dog, even though she's a really good dog, might be working him up just because he's excited to be around another dog walking.
Yeah.
So you're going to get more vocalization. I'd be really curious to see what it looks like without her in the mix and just you two. And and just trying to really focus on making sure he's not moving past you before he gets a correction.
Yeah. So early corrections.
Earlier corrections, him alone. Not every time. It doesn't have to be, but just like
No, but really, just to really define that spot where the heel position is.
Yeah.
This is so imperative. Define that spot. Like I was talking with Ashley, the shadow student today, and I was saying, think of it like a batter's box.
Yeah.
Right? Here's the batter's box. You
Yeah.
can't move out of it.
Yeah.
Move forward, move backwards, move sideways, and I'm going to add pressure and guide you back. So be really diligent about that. Don't allow like 6 inches forward out of the batter's box, because then it becomes less clear,
Yeah.
more confusing,
If you're
the
correcting
teaching.
there, it's like, well, where am I, am I supposed to
The
reach
dog's like,
back, or
I'm not sure about what's going on.
and that's why working him alone is a really cool idea, because then you can really focus on when he starts to move up, because you're focused on your other dog, because your other dog's slowing down a little bit, because she's
so
older.
she's got some of that.
Yeah, so she's got a
That's
little
hard.
and so I would just say working him alone whenever you can, whenever you're down to do a training walk with him alone, and that's it. Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I set my timer really short.
You did great. You did great. Yeah. So, and just to close out what Laura said about, if that vocalization continues, definitely go to e-collar. Your dog is right at the age where he's comfortable to move to e-collar.
Yep.
And most likely you'll see de-escalation rather than vocalization.
Yeah.
E-collar just shares pressure differently. You've heard us say it a million times. Vocalization on prong collar is not that abnormal, but on e-collar, far more abnormal.
Yeah,
and so you should see a much better thing with e-collar. Take you a little bit more work, but I think you'll get more bang for your buck.
Cool.
All right.
Just let us know.
Yes,
Okay.
and papoosdogtraining.com. I'm on it, investing.
Okay, guys, question number 3 comes from Candace. Candace says, hello, Sean and Laura.
Hello.
I've been meaning to write in for a while after watching the last 50 episodes of Q&A over the past month. Wow.
50 episodes.
Awesome, Candace. Thank you for keeping me entertained at work. Also, many thanks for recommending Jim Rohn's Art of Exceptional Living. I've listened to it twice already. Awesome. It made me realize that I'm lacking discipline in my training approach and developing my dog training business. So this is more of a personal development business question. You guys mentioned that the biggest driving factors in life can come from overcoming adversity. How can someone who's led a fairly comfortable life become more driven and more disciplined? What sort of daily habits did you guys have in place, and what skills did you focus on developing when you're all first starting out? I'm transitioning from the all positive reinforcement world of animal training into the balance world because it makes so much more sense, and I feel like we can help dogs with more severe behavioral issues this way. I've always used a prong on my own dog and realized I can get much better results, but never really recommend it to others because I found myself surrounded by the positive method community. Now I want to find more balanced trainers to be around and develop my training style to be more in line with that philosophy. Your videos help tremendously, and it's making me feel like I'm already becoming a part of it. I recently ordered the Mini Educator and will be using it as soon as I get my newly adopted Blue Heeler acquainted with the prong foundation skills. Thanks for being genuinely good people. And keep doing what you do. Oh, Candace, that's so
Candace,
sweet.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this says Sean and Laura, so we got a little bit of a dueling
Hit it.
expertise going on here.
Okay.
So I wrote a couple notes because I really want to make sure that I cover some stuff that's important, right? So this is an important one, like for both me and you.
Yeah.
This is something that's like near and dear to our hearts. And guys, lay down. Something that's near and dear to our hearts, and something that in T3 and within our own life that we really focus on and really teach others and try and reinforce within ourselves, right? So the first thing, like when you say, I can't remember if she said I'm lazy, but basically I'm struggling with discipline and what follow through or
basically like going from like maybe a more comfortable life, so not having to create that out of necessity, but maybe having to force it out of okay, I'm gonna do this because I want to like create a new life for myself. Right. I think it's hard if you feel like, hey, I'm actually making a decent living at my
things
job.
Are pretty smooth.
I had
things
a good
are pretty
upbringing,
cushy.
And
Yeah. Cushy is the enemy of drive, right? So I'll be like super clear with that. Like, cushy is the easiest way to stay stuck. So if you've
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, for me, because I didn't come from a cushy background, pushing and trying to create things was very easy for me. So if I grew up in an environment which was more cushy, not that I couldn't succeed, but I think it would be more challenging for me. I think having nice stuff, feeling comfortable, puts human beings in a place where they're much more apt to be relaxed, maybe a little lazy, maybe let things slide, because there's no imperative, there's no big friction point, there's no big like real consequence. If you don't make it, like, you're cool because you still got resources behind you. But if you don't have resources behind you and things get dodgy, it can get ugly real fast. So that's a real important part of it. So I would say, look at your influences, your constant, never-ending influences, as far as like, if you're trying to figure out, how do I develop more drive? How do I get into a place where I'm more drivey, more motivated, more excited, dreaming bigger, thinking bigger thoughts, reaching for bigger things? I'm gonna say it's like 99.99%. It's hard to concentrate when he's licking chops. 99.999% influence, right? So I know that for both Laura and myself, we spend a good amount of time every day listening to positive influences, and I don't mean like touchy-feely, go hug a tree influences. I mean like...
Oh, she's listening to Jim. And,
no. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we're right in alignment with that. And those influences, what they do is, if you've only listened to it twice, which is fabulous, but Laura's probably listened to it 150 or more times, and I'm probably right along with her, you know, in those extreme numbers. And so what happens is, if you constantly feed your mind this great stuff from thinkers like Jim Rohn or a Zig or a Seth Godin or a Gary Vaynerchuk or whoever, and it's coming through videos or it's coming through books, what you're going to find is that it's going to slowly start to infiltrate your mindset, and it's going to start to make you think different thoughts. You're going to start to feel less comfortable about being less drivey. You're going to start to feel less comfortable about sitting on the couch watching TV when you could be doing something more positive, right? So the more you surround yourself with influences that are saying like, shoot for here, the less easy it will be for you to hang right here. I'm a really big believer in that. So every day, I know both of us surround ourselves with influences that are saying like, hey, shoot for right here. And that really pushes us to do our best job. Do we hit always right here? No, but we're always kind of shooting in that trajectory or in that direction. So what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think just the comfortable life thing is I know what you're asking about. I think the idea of like, yeah, it's really easy when you've got so many bad things that have happened or whatever to be like, all right, I've really got nothing to lose. I got it. This is so uncomfortable. But when you come from more comfort, which doesn't make you like less of a drivey person or want less things, but sometimes I think you have to make what you have not cushy. So you could tell me that you've got $100,000 a year job and you've got a great life because you only have to work from 10 to 4 or something like that. You could tell us all the things that make your life cushy, or you had this great upbringing with these really supportive parents that think everything you do is awesome. You could tell us all that stuff, and that's great. But man, I'm telling you, $100,000 a year for me to work from 10 to 4 at a job that I don't love, that's far from cushy. $100,000 might as well be nothing for me in that capacity. So like making that switch, I don't know your situation at all, of course, but making that switch and saying like, you know what I'm doing right now, I could sure, like, people that are dying for a job would love it, but man, F this, this isn't cushy for me. I gotta get out of this, like making your situation, like striving for more is going to make your situation not comfortable, even if it's totally comfortable. And I know it's a hard one, especially if you come from people that are like, wow, you're so lucky, that you have this job, or you're so lucky that you live in this house, or wow, you have such great parents, or this or that. It's like, yeah, but I want more for my life,
Oh dear.
So anyway.
So just let me close that out real quick. So a couple of the other things that I wrote down for you were like, 1, decide what your dreams, passions and the impact you want to make on the world. I think those are really good ways. Like, you want to inspire some drive, start thinking about, like, and I don't mean like, oh, I'd like to like have a vacation. I mean, like, what are your biggest dreams? Like, if you listen to Jim and you read like Magic of Thinking Big, and you listen to all these people that are going to push you to think bigger, you're going to start to have bigger thoughts about what your possibilities are. So I want you to start thinking about bigger dreams. I want you to think about passions without limits. I want you to think about the impact that you want to make on the world. That should motivate you to start thinking about, what the hell am I doing sitting on the couch, or what the hell am I doing not going out and going after something? Because you have the potential to go out and do something really marvelous, really fantastic for the world. And if you don't, you're really kind of selling yourself short. And the last thing I would say is, what would you most regret? This is a really good one, right? So travel with me. What would you most regret at 80 or 90 years old that you didn't get accomplished? It's always a good one to check in with. It's the one that I always go back to whenever I'm kind of like, let's see, what do I want to do with things? And I go like, all right, imagine you're 90, you're on that old deathbed. What are you going to be like? Geez, I really wish that I would have tackled that, or gone after it, or tried it. I think making sure that you don't regret things that are important is a super important way to facilitate finding better drive and things like that. So I think we gave you the Rock'em Sock'em Robot World Series of info on that one. So hopefully it helps.
Let us know. And that's just because you had comfortable life doesn't mean you can't make your life bomb ass. It doesn't. I think that
you came from a comfortable life.
I have great parents. I had a great upbringing. I have all that stuff. I have a great life.
Come from a nice neighborhood.
Yeah. I still now have a nice job. I have not, like, all sorts of nice things, but man.
But you're one of the most drivey people that I know.
Yeah, because it's not that it's never good enough. It's just now you get one thing and then you're like, oh, how much more can I help? How many more people can I impact? How much more, you just keep going, not so much about yourself, but about the external stuff that you can do. And I think that tortured artist thing is so dumb. Like, people are like, I need to have this like tortured life to be able to push myself to the limits. It's like, that's so stupid. Like, no, you don't. And the fact that maybe you didn't have this bad stuff happen to you may make you even more stable for people that you're going to help, I think there's a lot of people that do it out of necessity, but like, they're doing the best they can. But how cool if you have the drive and you have a stable kind of start, you know? Yeah. So anyway, let us know.
Yeah, I think you're ready to rock and roll. But our last recommendation, and I know whatever I say right here, Laura backs me up 110%.
Oh yeah.
Listen to that Jim at least 10 times.
Oh yeah. I'm sure
Two times does not get it.
Not even close.
You have to listen at least 10 times before you make any decision on how you feel about that.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks. Right. That's a great question.
Check in with us.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, question number 4 comes from Nucking Futz.
What?
Nucking Futz. Nucking Futz says, could you...
Does he follow you on Periscope? No, he follows me.
He says, could you demonstrate the universal hand signals for heel, come, place, sit, off, down, drop it, let's go? Thanks.
You know how much comedic potential there is in this moment right now?
Heel. Down.
We could cut in a whole lot of monkey business. I'd like to have like some airplane, like those like little batons like this. Like, this is recall.
Brittany and I joked about like that we want to change our whole training process to hand signals that are like really dramatic and flamboyant. So like, I should probably do it. But like, come is like, and like you have to like dip when you do it down and like do all this like really like, and if the people that don't do it, like you picture like the big dudes were like, no, dip further down, bend your knees. You're like, if you don't do it, your dog won't listen.
And for like a good marker, maybe a curtsy or something like that.
Like a low bow.
Right? Your dog's like, wow, I really get this. All makes sense. All right. So Nucking Futz, to be perfectly frank and honest, and anybody else that I want to be, we don't have, and we've never looked up the universal hand signals. You could Google it if you really want to check it out. The reality is that, like everything else in our training, we come up with whatever is simple, whatever is replicable.
Yep.
That's a hard one to say. Replicable for our clients, and what makes sense to us, right? So basically, we've got some really simple commands. Some of them are based off of typical hand signals for dogs, right? So we've got this means recall, right? And we do
This is for deaf dogs.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Hands.
We don't, but we don't, just so we know, because hand signals can be for deaf dogs or non. Like, people do hand signals.
Right, we don't do hand signals except for deaf dogs.
Yeah, so we don't have, like, there's a lot of people like, sit down, you know, we're going to show those right now, but, you know, recall the hand up or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't do anything like that because we like to simplify it as much as possible for
It's all
owners.
verbal commands for us. Now, with the deaf dog, you've got recall, you've got sit, which everybody's seen, you've got down, you've got this means good, you've got this over the placemat, you've got, what else do we got? Oh, we got this for no, and we're using the e-collar simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
So
Break.
and then break, and that means you're free to go, carouse, and
These
raise
are-
hell.
These are just yours, and
Yeah,
maybe some
these
of
are,
them
well,
universal.
maybe they will be universal
Hey.
someday. But we're using the e-collar to get attention. 2 taps, low level, pop, pop. Dog should look at us. We've done it with food to get the dog to look at us. Once he looks at us, recall, and then place, down, and that's how that looks. So it may not be universal, but it works damn well for us.
Definitely.
So if you want to find the universal ones, go scope them out on Google, and
Yeah.
then you can send them to us.
Hey, you can do a video for us, Knucking Futz.
Yeah, ducking futz.
Thank you. Okay, question number 5. This is from Instagram.
This would be the home stretch.
Yes. Canine cardio.
Can you tell someone's ready for the home stretch?
We're
like-
supposed to start
You're
at
like, "Let me
6.
out."
We start at 8:45.
Because someone was talking about all sorts of canine
Someone was
handling and
making
bomb
his
sniffing.
notes at 8 p.m.
I was just waiting for you guys to finish
Oh
talking
my.
about like gear
I
and
was sitting
gadgets
here
and
at
like.
6 p.m. waiting for us to do Q&A Saturday. Okay.
I wish I had a camera.
Are you just writing up notes now?
Yep.
OMG, we gotta get started. It's almost 8.
I know.
Okay.
So put that mic on because I can't be up so super
You
late.
what?
It's just already super late and I gotta start cutting some get this set up. Question number 5. You tell me who you believe. Canine Cardio Moncton says, question, we have a fearful GSD that is reactive to not only dogs, but humans too.
Yes.
I work every day to build up his confidence by bringing him for structured walks, exposing him to different places, people, sounds, and try to keep him under threshold to leave on a positive note on every walk.
Yeah.
My hubby, on the other hand, has no confidence walking him as he feels defeated when he reacts. He now prefers to play fetch with him, and he feels he gets more exercise by running. However, I feel I might totally be wrong, but I feel that he's constantly on alert mode. It really breaks my heart, so my reasoning is that I always try to reward him for being calm. I feel that running raises his stress levels, which are already sky high. He can run for days, but bring him on an hour walk, he snores like a baby.
Right.
So I guess my question is, playing fetch with him potentially making it worse? Thanks in advance.
This is a dual question, and I'm going to let you jump in first.
Okay, so I think that you answered your own question, Canine Cardio.
I think she did too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because
Divorce time.
there is the thing, and it's also like, we'll see it a lot with clients, like one of the partners, sometimes more generally the male partner, will be like, a dog is a dog just needs exercise,
And play, and a little roughhousing, maybe.
rustling, and and then that dog will be just normal. But the reality is, with all the factors, you know, genetics and what the dog came with experience-wise and all this stuff, sometimes dog being a dog is not the best dog that you want. So a dog like this, you know, we would do a full program on him if he's being, you know, reactive or aggressive to humans or dogs or anything like that.
Yeah.
We do a full e-collar program. But in your case, the reason why you say what we're seeing with that 1 hour long walk where he has to focus and be on his best behavior, that's like studying for the SATs for 2 hours or running for 2 hours, a marathon. You know,
Right.
That's a quick marathon, but half marathon versus studying for the SATs or studying for, you know, whatever big exam. You're going to be just as exhausted studying, even though you've done no physical activity. You know, the walk may be not as much as like a run or fetch, but man, is it working his brain. And that's what you want. You want that mental exhaustion. You can add in a little bit of the fetch and stuff, but at this point, that would be the least of my concerns, and it might, like you say, be counterproductive to what you guys are looking for, which is a less anxious, kind of worked up dog and more of a calm, more relaxed, not reactive dog.
What this lady said.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much said the same stuff. Of course, you can improvise because your brain works better than mine. I've always got notes because I need them. So basically, a lot of what we do is we work on calming exercises. Slowing the brain down is a big part of what we're looking for. So what we typically find is that owners are trying to out-exercise the dog, whether it's fetch or jogging or bicycles or rollerblading or something like that. You're creating athletes, you're creating dogs that tend to live up here in a real amp state, and we go the opposite. We shoot for, we walk slow. We teach dogs how to heel slow. We teach dogs how to do a ton of duration work. We teach dogs to practice impulse control all over the place. All we're looking for is to take this brain that's on a hyperactive kind of like gear, hyperactive mode, on autopilot, and like I see something and I react, and get it to where the dog is actually stopping, slowing down, looking to you for permission, and making decisions from there. So a big part of it is slowing the dog's brain down, and like Laura said, I think that can be really counterintuitive for a lot of people, especially dudes for some reason. We want to go and like play and wrestle and work the energy out, and there's nothing wrong with having that side of the coin, but especially initially, that side of the coin should be like 10%. 90% of the coin should be calming exercises. 90% of the coin should be like, let's get our dog into a space where he can sit in place and somebody can walk in the door. My dog doesn't care. That's what you're looking for. You won't create that dog by doing fetch or any kind of like high antics kind of performance behavior, stuff like that. But you will create a dog that can tolerate like high stimulus, novel experiences and things like that by slowing the brain down. So it's super duper important, and it's a really counterintuitive one. We were just working with Ashley today, our shadow student. We were working on heel exercises, and he was like, wow, I was always taught to move quicker with the heel to make it easier for the dog to stay in the heel. And we're like, we want the opposite. We want the dog to work his brain really, really hard to slow down and be in this position, because I know if the dog's working this hard at being in this position, his brain's going to be in a different gear, and he's going to send out less bad juju to the world, and it's going to be positive and have a positive impact in a lot of ways. So, so that's one part of it. Let's see. So for all the dogs at TGD here that you guys see, and you guys see all these guys, if you've seen before and after videos, you've seen dogs come in like maniacs. You've seen them jumping, crazy, barking, growling, all that stuff. And we're not going out, and we're not riding bikes, and we're not rollerblading, and we're not jogging, and we're not like sprinting around with these dogs. What we're doing is we're slowing them down and asking them to give us very precise behaviors in very challenging kind of contexts and situations. And what we find is, like Laura said so well, all of those moments are like taking SATs for your dog, and they all slow the brain down, and they all burn a ton of brain energy, and they put your dog into a much calmer, slower, easier gear, which means when your dog's at home hanging out, you're going to see really fabulous stuff, rather than the dog that's just like had the ball thrown a bunch of times, is tired for 5 minutes, and then comes back in and is like, what's next, what's next, what's next?
Worked up.
Yeah, because you haven't done the other side of the coin. So I think that both of you are right, but I would say that if you've got a dog that's kind of out of control, and it sounds like your husband's frustrated enough to where he doesn't even want to walk him, that I would focus really heavily on that 90-10, 90% being structure, rules, accountability, and really kind of enforcing those rules. And then, and then allowing some small percentage of your day being that kind of excessive, high energy,
Yeah.
fun, kind of playful
Yeah, because I
stuff.
so get it with your husband. I mean, I remember with my dog that was a shepherd that was having issues as well, is like, I was like, the more I play, the more, if I can have him like find things in the yard and like do like,
Talking about polar bear?
yeah, just like,
yeah.
can I rollerblade him 8 hours a day and maybe he'll be better. Like, I so get it, especially if it's frustrating to walk him. I understand where
But what did you
coming
get?
from.
That's so
Yeah,
important for
same
people to
exact
hear.
thing. I just created an athlete. I mean, I created an athlete who was worked up, who didn't have any impulse control. The only impulse like control, you know, it'd be like really like having. You see this all the time. Super anxious people are like, I just became a runner, and it's like, it's so awesome because I'm just a runner now, and like I just have all this, and you're like, how about some yoga, dude? You know what I mean? How about taking a minute? And they're like, no, it's cool because I can run like 13 miles a day, and it's like,
Right,
no. Let's slow it
that's
down.
easy.
It's easy for them. Yeah.
So, yoga, not so easy. Yeah.
So whatever's not easy for the dog, like the walk is not easy. That's why he sleeps like a baby, you know? But I get it with your husband. So what I would do is lead by example. Just every time you want to work, you know, unless you can talk to him about this stuff, you know, every time you work with him and work with him on duration, tons of duration with this dog, tons of place command, just telling him what to do all the time and get him in a much more relaxed gear, and then maybe he'll be more of a joy to walk.
I would love a joy to walk. Almost going to give you this. Hang on one second. Last thing.
Okay.
Remember this, guys. Motion is easy. Calm, quiet, stillness, that's challenging.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people will watch our videos and go like, but the dogs aren't playing. Do you know how easy that is to get? Yeah. That's the easiest thing in the world.
All we have to do is say break or
right,
work them up.
And they go bananas, right? So people are like, wow, your dogs are so calm and relaxed. We're like, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
We're showing you that because that's the hard part.
Right.
The crazy, playful, frantic,
That's why they
frenetic
came
stuff.
to us.
Right. They had all the other stuff. Yeah. They had all the play and the crazy.
Right.
Now we're trying to balance it out.
Yeah.
So just remember, guys, that motion, that frenetic energy, that excitement, that's all natural and very easy for dogs to jump into,
Yeah.
and not necessarily the best. But if you can teach your dog how to have the other side of the coin, which we call the off switch, on and off, right? On, I can play and go crazy. Off, I can go to duration, place, and relax and sleep for 3 hours. Yeah. Then you got the best of both worlds. You've got a dog who knows how to go back and forth between those two worlds, and you can have some really magical kind of responses from him in a lot of different contexts. So now, with that said, I will give you the high five.
Thanks,
we are
guys.
finished.
Episode 80 in the bag.
Man, we're coming towards 100.
Yep.
What are we going to do? Are we going to do anything special?
Probably buy some confetti and blow those
bad horns again? All right. Well, we'll see if we can up the game for you guys. All right.
you guys.
Yeah, love you.
you.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.